Hello guys, so yesterday I was trying to work with Gemini 3 and understand the model, and it's super powerful model, and I create a concept for a DAPP that is focused on creator bringing everything they need, and I created this concept. It has a lot of features. It's not working, it's just concept. It's basically templates, but building this before would take at least 6 months. Just these templates, nothing else. And yeah, design is pretty nice thanks to Gemini 3, and it has lots of features and there are lots of details. For example, creating this kind of templates for post creator, it was really hard before. It was really hard. Each of these items would take days. For example, even this calendar selector, this time selector, each one of these would take a day. And now, thanks to these models, development is becoming so fast and so easier, and you don't need to write code for most of these things, and things that needed a lot of codes and hard thinking. For example, calendars need calculation. You don't need to think any of that anymore. And this concept is not very important. I bring it because then I post about this concept, and then I get this reply, which was very interesting. And this user asked if I can create a full YouTube video tutorial for making this. And I was thinking, yeah, this is going to be very helpful because these days you don't need to write much code, which is the hard part that needs a lot of learning curve. We don't need that anymore. Still, if you know how to code, and I encourage you to learn it if you are a builder, it helps a lot, but it's not really necessary. And so I decided to create YouTube videos, which both help me as an entrepreneur to have an audience, to grow an audience, which helps me a lot, and also the LUKSO community, because I think if you guys get enabled, you can build lots of cool shit. And my goal is to make you enable. But the thing is, I'm very, very busy. And making these videos take a lot of time in me making tutorials. So I was thinking, maybe if I could get paid enough for making these videos, it makes sense for me to make them, because I'm getting paid on the audience and everything, but I want to get paid money to get motivation to make this going forward. Also, I really believe in retroactive funding, which is basically a mechanism for a builder to build something and then you fund them. Because if you fund a builder before they created the thing, the problem is then the builder have no incentive to build it anymore. So I decided to, for my first video of this series, I decided to create something that helped me create more videos. And what I want to do is basically I want to create a space in which you can post a YouTube video link and maybe an image which will be used for creating an NFT. And this will be a mini DAPP on LUKSO, on Universal Everything. And people could come and fund your video after you make them, and you're going to put a target in it, and when you reach that target, I could create my next video. So something that could both fund me and help me make these videos. And I'm going to create this whole DAPP within this single video. So I'm not going to teach you everything from basic. I'm assuming you have Node.js installed, npm installed, and Cursor also installed, and you have a paid membership to use. I'm not sure the free version have all the models. I'm going to use advanced models. And yeah, if you have these, I think this video could help you to build a full end-to-end DAPP on LUKSO. Currently, I just have a name which I asked Gemini to generate for me. I'm not sure even it's a good name. It's Premier Leaks. And also, I assume that you know how to use a terminal. And if you know this, we are ready to go. So let's start. First, I go to Figma. The Figma is a design tool which we are not going to use for design here. I'm just going to use to put my ideas here. So let's make this text bigger. I want a space for funding YouTube videos. Oh my God. Okay. Then basically I want a user to create, let's put a mini DAPP. And then I want the user to be able to create an instance of an NFT which will be tied to funding of a video, and fans could fund that instance by giving leaks, and instead we gave them an NFT. So yeah, this is basically the spec that I'm going for building this. And so now I want to, I have created a project folder. I think yeah, you need to learn a bit of terminal. It's not a hard thing, really. You just can ask GPT to give you, but basically you need to create a folder, and we are going to create a Next.js app. If you go over a very basic tutorial on Next.js and Cursor, just search Next.js and Cursor, you're probably going to get a pretty good understanding of what we are doing here. I'm assuming you know that, and after that we are going to create a full DAPP. So yeah, I'm asking Next.js to create an app, a basic Next app for me. It's going to have Tailwind installed, and yeah, let's wait for it to complete. So while this is getting completed, I want to define what pages I need. I need a page to be the main page of my profile. So main page profile, which is basically a list of YouTube videos campaign. I'm very new to creating YouTube videos. My tool's probably going to be better. I'm not even using mic or anything here right now. I have a mic, but I don't have converter. So yeah, hopefully in future everything gets a lot better. Then we are going to have a campaign page, which is basically, I'm going to, well, then we need a campaign creator page. So basically this campaign creator is like, I'm going to put a link of my video, I'm setting a target in leaks and some description, and then I'm going to click on something to create the campaign. Then this list of my campaigns going to this profile, and then I am going to have a detailed page for each campaign. In this detailed page, user could fund the campaign, see the list of supporters, and what else we can do? Yeah, this is basically it. So it's like we are going to have 3 pages, maybe a home page, home page, which we can see the list of available campaigns. So I think that this concept could be a very, very good domain. So we could limit our functionalities and build an end-to-end DAPP. So now my Next.js app is created. I'm going to the client folder. I named the app name client, and I'm going to open my cursor. So now the cursor is open. I'm going to open a terminal in the cursor. And for that, in Mac, I'm going to the help and type terminal and open it. Very simple. Then I'm going to put Command and I to open the composer, and I'm going to put it on plan. So I'm going to describe to it exactly. Let's first run the server. Okay. This is our server app. I'm going to close all the other tabs to not confuse us. So now I'm going to describe to it exactly what I want. So I put a, let's make it smaller. So I tell it I want to create, first remember, we are putting this on the plan section, and we are going to put the model on Gemini 3 Pro. And then I'm saying the exact thing I want to build. I create a mini DAPP on LUKSO called Premier Leaks. The goal is to give YouTubers a space to create campaigns for their videos. Then they could set a target for that video, and users could support that campaign. And users that supported that campaign get an support NFT token, we need a page for creators to create campaign. We need a creator page that shows all of their campaigns, and we need campaign detail page. We need here fans could support the creator and get NFT. Also, there would be a list of supporters who supported this user. There would be a main page that shows the list of available campaigns. Also, I want to make this UI neo-brutalist. I want it to be neo-brutalist, exciting UI. And I don't know what it's going to create for me, but I have a good faith that it's going to be good. So let's wait for it to do it. Okay, so it's that this plan section cursor will ask a couple of questions, and we're going to answer them. Do you have access to? No, we don't have smart contracts yet, so we are going to use the mock data. Good. Should I implement universal chronology? I'm saying no. For now, we just want to see the views. And 3. For the numbers, do you have a specific color palette? I choose a style. Choose So it's going to create a plan now, and then we are going to execute the plan. Lots of the modern development is like you have to just wait for something to finish and write the next part of the plan. And yeah, we're now waiting. The Gemini model is pretty fast compared to GPT-5. GPT-5 used to be the best model, but these days, this couple of days, I was working with the Gemini, and I think it's better. I think GPT has created a new model, but it doesn't have API yet, so I cannot test that. But Gemini is much, much faster. So, and it's much better at doing UI. So let's wait for it to do it. It's creating the components, and usually I would give it more strict stuff, so it would create a better architecture for me. And currently it's kind of not really great architecture, but it's working. So, and since this app is going to be pretty small, it doesn't matter much. So as you see, it created some cool UI for me. Yeah. So it created a start campaign page, campaign title, description, video URL, and target month. Has created the page. Okay. It seems really nice. It's amazing, this model, what it can do with UI. Okay, no problem. So, yeah. So now I wanted to work better on much more more realistic data. So currently I think it's putting some data that is coming from this get campaign by ID. It has created mock data library for us, and let's see what's this YouTube video is.
Easily create video ads by simply
Okay. Now I want to ask it. Let's commit this, and basically a git commit is something you do for saving your work and to be able to get back to that specific version. It's a version manager. So when you're working with AI models, it's very important to use Git, because so many times they fuck up and you need to get back to this exact version. Also, one thing about the Gemini model is it's very good at the first shot the first prompt, but it gets weird when you try to do it in the next steps. So I'm going to create a new chat, and here I'm going to ask something. So now I want you to show the video in a YouTube player in the campaign component instead of just okay, so now I want to show the problem is these video sections is not showing the video image or thumbnail. Alright, I want to show the videos instead of just this placeholder. Show the thumbnail or a YouTube player. And here I'm not seeing a place to upload an image for the NFT, so I need to do that as well. Actually, to integration before I could. Okay, so you see this plan is doing showing me some options that I could choose. The default is yes, go with that. And we build. So I want to check the code, and it's putting a lot of data in the pages. I really don't like this, but for a small DAPP like this, it would be okay, I think. But maybe later we're going to refactor it if I see a lot of things gets messed up. Because we are going to add new things here. And let's see where we go. So yeah, now it's showing the
Alright, so here we are, one of the elephants. The cool thing about these guys is that they have really, really, really long trunks, and that's cool.
Okay. Okay, so the next step is like in this two section, I'm seeing two state for this raised legs, and it's not exactly showing me a couple of other scenarios. So I want to see a campaign data let's first commit the last version. Let's see campaign data. Is funded, which has got funded its target and more. Yes, more than. So yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, let's build this. Okay, so it created the test data for an overfunded campaign, but let's see whether it could. Okay, goal reached. It's really good at making UIs. It's beautiful. And making this template before was so hard because these are not standard UI elements, and I have tried to make these things, and it took me like just this template, just the front end could take me more than a week, and it's awesome. I love technology. Okay. So, yeah. The next is this campaign page. I think this could get better. Okay, for campaign launch page, I need it to be disabled button, then the title, target, and video URL doesn't exist. In future, user must also be connected. And I also need, let's put it on the plan stage. I also need to get I need to get a file uploader. For now, no. We are not going to. This stage, I just want to create a template, so I don't want real functionality here. No. Yet. But create a preview for the NFT image. Also, then create some kind of validation. I want the form get validated, so user don't put stupid data. Validation on the form, also on the YouTube video URL, and when the URL of the video is right, I want to preview the video. Okay, now the plan is ready. We click the build and wait for it to build it. It's as simple as this. Okay, so it's created some kind of validation, and let's put this video here. Okay, it's working. Let me put some image data. Oh, okay, so it doesn't have drag and drop. I would add it later, and let just, okay, it has a preview and description and title, and okay, yeah. So now I want to better. Remember, you should always commit your version when you are doing agent-driven development. Better for I want an image selector and I wanted to have drop feature, so it will drop the box. Okay, the plan is ready. Let's build. And I think after this is finished, we we should be ready. So one thing I want to make sure is to see if this looks good on the mobile. On the mobile view, it doesn't have the create button here. Start campaign, okay. And we are going to adjust this as we add the real data here to make sure everything works properly. But for now, it's okay. Let's just check it. Okay, as you see, we could now create this image. So the next step is building the contract. This is the trickier part because it's not really good practice to build the smart contracts with agents. They are probably going to be more secure than you writing them yourself, unless you are a very good smart contract developer. But you know, the problem with the smart contracts is these are open contracts that anybody could access and anybody could abuse them. So there is a real risk here, and people might lose money over your contract. But since this is a fun project, we are going to create some contract for it, and it's pretty basic, so I think there shouldn't be a problem. So the next stage is, currently I'm in the client folder, the Next.js app that I created. I want to get back and create a Foundry project. Foundry, I'm going to get a start Foundry, and you have to install it. This is the framework most people use to create the smart contracts. You have to install it, and yeah, I'm going to do it here in terminal. And Premier Lux contracts. Okay, so we're going to open a new cursor for this. Let's go to the project. We're opening we open the project in another cursor, and for this I need to install OpenZeppelin and LUKSO contracts, LUKSO smart contracts. So I'm going to open a terminal here and install. I'm going to install LUKSO smart contracts here, and contract Foundry. after that, we are going to install OpenZeppelin. So for this contract is basically my design is I want a registry which contains all the campaigns of all the users. So each user could create a campaign, and each campaign is an LSP8 contract. And I'm not sure this is the best design, to be honest, because all the NFTs are basically the same, and what's wrong? Something's wrong. So here I don't want to teach you the exact steps to design a proper smart contracts. It's more about showing you the overall system you could use to create an end-to-end DAPP. So So for designing this, I shouldn't go with LSP8 contract, because basically the difference is in each LSP8, which is traditional like NFTs, you could have different tokens with different token IDs that each going to have different metadata. But for our DAPP, basically a campaign, users going to support the campaign, and they are going to get a special NFT for it. And these NFTs could be identical, but no, they shouldn't be identical, because there is a difference. Because somebody could support 50 leaks, somebody could support 10 leaks, and the NFT they get for that specific token should differ on some kind. And yeah, since these NFTs for each campaign are going to be different, not on a metadata level, but on a identity level, we are going to use LSP8. On LSP7, you could also have NFTs, which means non-fungible tokens, but those non-fungible tokens are identical. But with LSP8, you could create non-identical tokens. I hope this makes sense. And this is something you have to get to know with experience. Yeah, we have installed our project, and let's go. I haven't wrote any contract with the Gemini yet, and I have to see the power of it. Hopefully it's powerful and good. So create. Now that the system is, well, let's save the version, which is nothing really besides install dependency. And I want to say we are going to describe what we want to create. We want to create a system called Premier Links. target amount and metadata. Each campaign is LUKSO LSPA contract. Target amount in leaks to be erased. User that fund the campaign going to receive an NFT from that LSPA contract, which also shows the amount of data, the amount of funding they have done. Create necessary, make sure to properly put events in the system so we could index them. I'm going to talk to you about what is indexing in a bit. Put security measure and housing ability for critical points. And we need some other things. Users who created the campaigns, campaign owners must be able to withdraw the funds that are raised by their campaigns, and only the campaign owner. Also, I think there is an LSP, I'm not sure which one is that you could set a contract as you actually created it. It's going to set the data on your profile that shows you are actually the owner of that contract. So I think that's going to happen in the front end using a batch transaction. And feel free to comment out whatever you didn't understood, because it's my first video and I think I have a lot to be better at doing this, but my goal is to create something fully functional right now. So yeah, we don't need to do that here. Create all necessary tests and provide instructions for how to run. Let's see how Gemini do in the smart contract development. I have never tried it here yet. Okay. Also, for creating these contracts, I don't want the registry create the contracts manually, because that takes a lot of gas. So I want use the Open Zeppelin minimal proxy. So this minimal proxy basically is a contract that could clone other contracts without deploying a new code. So it's more efficient than deploying a new contract for each time you are deploying an identical contract. Also, once the registry uses the open exception. Okay, we haven't installed open Zeppelin contracts yet. So I want a campaign to be withdrawable even if it doesn't reach target. Target is just something like what the creator really expects, but it shouldn't be something straight, because when in crowdfunding you fund a project, if it doesn't get to the target, the user funds gets back, but because it means the project doesn't have enough fund to create it. But here, since the creator already created the YouTube video, it's okay if he gets whatever funds he gets. So these comments are for the cursor to understand how these folders works. This getting access to underlying contracts. Okay, here since we are working with the smart contracts, I actually like to read the plan and see whether the plan makes sense. Ensure LUKSO and opens up my important the storage, total arrays, campaign owner, element initialize function to be called by factory account, implement function, variable host tokens to the funder, update total arrays, set stock funding amount is under implement the draw function on the campaign owner, contract belongs to the owner. Premier Leaks Factory, accountable, import clones from storage implementation address, campaign registry, deploy to master. Okay, it seems right. Let's see. Since this contract is pretty basic, I don't think it's going to have a problem. But we are going to add an alpha software caution in our UI. Anyway. So I'm reading the data, the test to make sure it makes sense. And yeah. And I'm here in the smart contract, I'm going to be more cautious than the front end because it's something risky. But in our chain that doesn't have much users right now, and this specific DAPP, which is very small and more like a fun project, shouldn't have very much problem. Okay, let me run the tests. And okay, the tests are running properly. Let me get an overview of what it is doing. So the factory is putting a implementation address, a campaign, campaigns list, and a post. I think it should use a possible opens open contract instead of this. Also here, okay, I think Gemini is not as good as GPT-5 on writing the smart contracts, because what I see here, usually in the LUKSO smart contracts, it's best to have some kind of reintrinsic guards. And not that this exactly have a reintrinsic possibility, but in the font function, let me read it. Okay, I see some issue here. Not a lot, not an implementation issue, but some logic issue. Because somebody may try to fund this project 100 times with very, very limited leaks and populate lots of NFTs for no reason. So we want to give the user a minimum amount of raising. Okay? And also I want to on-chain store data about the amount of fund that is happened for that specific token ID. Only campaign owner. It says the current data funding. Restore funding amount in our sorry for this tokenite. Should probably key it by token. Oh, okay. Funding amount key. What is funding amount key? Oh, okay, this is a key. Okay. You're right. That's take all the time. I just want to see what tests it written. So test create campaign. It create a campaign, see the target, see the total supply. It's fine. This test minimum funding. If user contribute less than half a leaks, it would stop. And test 12. Owner is not the campaign owner. Initial balance. Okay. Okay, so there are two other things. First of all, I want when the factory is paused, the campaigns also get paused. The functions doesn't rip. That doesn't work. Also, I want to use OpenZeppelin possible instead of creating custom pause functions. And I know these things doesn't have potential for reentrancy. I don't see it right now, at least, but I want to make sure these are reentrancy guarded. And yeah, you can go read about reentrancy. It's something well documented, and I'm not the best person to explain it to you. There are lots of content. I'm not here to re-explain everything, that there's lots of things about it. I'm here to create a full end-to-end DAPP. So here I'm going to tell it I want to use OpenZeppelin possible instead of custom implementation. I want the campaign with pause as well. Then the factory is paused. I want what I want. Also, I want the contract with properly referency guarded. Okay, guys, so I feel like this video has so much pause, but it is what it is for now until I get better. But basically, this tells me that we currently only install OpenZeppelin contracts, And OpenZeppelin have two kind of contracts, one normal contracts and one upgradable contracts. And so since we are using clone proxy, we cannot use the reincurrency guard of normal contracts. So we need to use reincurrency guard of the OpenZeppelin upgradable contracts. So I'm going to install it. And then I'm going to use the new one. And it's giving me a couple of things to decide, and I'm going to decide. To verify if the factory is pause campaign is no, the factory is others, of course. So I already installed the upgradable contracts now. Two. It's okay. Storage is cheap enough. So I'm waiting for it to complete the contract. Okay, as you see, it's now using OpenZeppelin pausable instead of custom implementation. And yeah. Then we're having only when factory active, and this checks the factory is pausable or not. And we added the non-reentrant to these functions. Seems legit. Okay, now instead of just checking pause for factory, it's also checking the campaigns as well. Okay, it seems good. Let's run the tests and everything is running. again, this way we are building the smart contract and things. It's not super safe. It's not. I mean, this is good code. The AI write good code, but if you want to build something complex or more feature, it's really important that you audit it. And this code is very simple, so shouldn't things go wrong? But there is still possibility things go wrong. And even if this goes wrong, it's not like there is a lot of things in here. But there are AI audit agents as well. For example, Nethermind has created an AI audit agent. In future videos, I might use that to audit these contracts, but for now, I'm fine with this for this video. And I'm going to put an alpha tag on the contracts. But now the next step is creating scripts for actually deploy these contracts into LUKSO. And I'm going to use the mainnet instead of testnet because LUKSO is pretty cheap and I'm going to test it on the mainnet. It's not the best practice, but this is what I want to do. So this is what it is. So now create the deployment scripts for the factory and campaign. So what it says. I'm okay with this. The great thing about this plan mode is like this asks you some question when it gets confused and try to build the exact thing you want. And it's really powerful. After this section, we are going to, after we deploy the contracts, we are going to use and create an indexer for things. And then we are going to connect everything to the UI. Okay. So Okay, so it's going to take the private key environment variable and deploy it. So I'm just going to create a burner wallet for this private key, and this version that I'm going to do is for the testing version. So this private key, you are going to see it. I want to show you the process, but it won't be the actual version that I put up, so it will be useless. There is not much you can do with it. Other than that, so I'm going to redeploy it when I want to put it on the main function, on the main app, and this one is for just for the testing. So I'm going to vanity address. This is not the best practice for deploying smart contracts or stuff. But here is what I'm going to use for now. Then I need to fund this address with some leaks, so then it can deploy the thing. So I added some small leaks to this deployer account, so I could deploy it with this script. I'm going to use Jordi's RPC, which is my favorite LUKSO RPC. You can go to the chain list, see the list of RPCs. I'm going to use the Sigma core. And yeah, this should be deployed. And well, it says it's an UA. Let's go here and okay, now I could see the address of the contracts that deployed. So this one is the campaign. This is the I'm not sure. This must be the addresses. I'm not sure what's wrong. For some reason, I think the Explorer might be wrong. Because it can identify this, but it doesn't read them as contract. Not this, cannot even find this. It's weird. Oh, okay, I figured out what's the problem, because we didn't use the broadcast. It wasn't really deploying it on the mainnet. It was just simulating the transaction. So I think if I add broadcast here, it would be work. Okay, so it needed me to identify the N5 for it. And as you see, you can put this ask button and it's going to give you some answers. Didn't work. So I think Foundry has some kind of safety features for not putting private key in .env. And as I said, this is not the best practice to deploy things, especially if production heavy smart contracts, they are using a very sophisticated ways to deploy things, which is not our goal here. And I'm trying to debug things. So I'm going to ask more questions. Okay, I think this might work. Okay, this seems like working. Okay, now this contract works. We need to verify it. We're gonna do that later, but I think it's a good start. Then the next part is doing the indexer. And what indexer is basically, we are going to put so many data here in this contract that is not really queryable, or it's very hard. So there are events in this contract that have this data and is storing data in some kind of chain, which is cheaper because storing data on chain is expensive. And for properly handling this data, you need some kind of indexer. The indexer is going to organize this data and give you a proper API that you can query. Usually we used to create subgraphs for this, but currently I look at a very cool technology called Squid, and this Squid helps you index really fast and it's very flexible. So we are going to create a Squid indexer for this step. So we are going to the Squid AI. Great. So actually, let's go to getting started. I think I already have installed this subscript. Okay. This is not something that I have done a lot. I have created one, and the setup took me a while. And I'm doing it here, teaching you how to do it. But probably I'm not the best one to teach it yet. Maybe in future I create better content for it. So yeah, I'm going to just get out of here and create a directory for indexer. And we are going to do it again with help of Cursor and Gemini. And I want to set up a script indexer for a project. Build a basic, create the boilerplate. Then I would give you more data to handle things. So the thing about agentic development is like we used to have to read all of these documents to learn a new technology and properly learning them, and then we could use them. And now with the agentic stuff, we really don't need that. It's like you can use a new technology, which is going to be very great, without even learning it. Of course, there are some problems. They might cause some problem became, but we're here to break things. But on the smart contract side, it's really, you should be really cautious because you can fuck up people's money. So you should be cautious on that. Yeah, let's see what Gemini could do. I'm not sure how to even boilerplate the project. So we depend on it a lot. We initialize the Git repository for this. this is not even the best practice to structure a project like this. It would be ideal to put everything on a single repository, but as I said, this video, I want to make a video that to show you that you can create an end-to-end DAPP within a couple of hours using current technologies. Is this going to be the best DAPP? No. Isn't going to be the most secure DAPP? No. But is it going to be a possible DAPP? Yeah. And that's really great. Okay, so we are going to add our APIs from okay, here. For the contracts that we just created, factory. And then I'm going to create a plan. Create a proper indexer for these contracts. I already provided the API for it in the API directory. So I just copy and paste the contracts we created. And for the indexer, you don't need to be as cautious as a smart contract. There are possible ways to fuck up things with it, but it's not as heavy security need things, unless you are using it to find some kind of data for an on-chain event. And even in that case, your smart contract shouldn't be dependent on the right data to be secure. So yeah, they are kind of safe. So you could be more lazy with it and don't check what it is doing. You still need to check the API for it, so the data should be right. But yeah, I'm not even specifying what data I want. I just want to send the contracts to it and let the Gemini decide for me. I haven't done this with Gemini yet. I have done it with GPT-5, but let's see what Gemini is capable of. I also need to send the contract addresses for this, and yeah, this is the contract, and this is the factory contract actor. We also need to provide LUKSO. The contract is on the LUKSO mainnet, and it's the Orpheus URL. So let's see what's the schema it's using. So basically it's storing the campaign data, the contribution data, and withdrawal data. And I think it should be ready. I think I have another Squid indexer up and running. And let me ask it from the Gemini. Okay, I have another indexer up, and so this one could not go. So let's get back to it and set up the squid. So I think it's using an RPC URL. Which is not the URL we want. But the good thing is you can always just send this error to agent and it will find a way for you. It's like it's like lifesaver really. In the old days, you have to spend so much time on debugging things like this, and you have to learn and understand, and you have to fully understand these technologies. For example, I really don't know how Squid. I have some ideas on how it works, and it has some kind of big data that store all data and have some very clean API to handle things, but I really don't know how exactly to create an indexer with it. But thanks to these models, and I'm not even sure this is the best way to write an indexer for an event processor, but it's going to work, I'm pretty sure. Maybe the problem is here. Using okay, that was the problem. Okay, so we have some problem here. I understand this much. It is loading the data from the block 0, but our contract has created that block 6 million, whatever, this number. So we don't need to start indexing from block 0. Okay, let's start the process again. So now we need to serve the GraphQL server. What the fuck? Let's see the package.json, maybe here we have. Okay, again we can ask Gemini. Oh, okay. So we should have an indexer up in the, okay, so we have this. So I think now we are ready to connect everything together. So we are going to jump back on the front end, and there we need to make that DAPP both usable standalone and as a mini DAPP. So I get back to it again. Okay, so now we have the indexer. We need to connect things up. And for that, we need to get back to our front end. And the drag and drop. So the next step is we want to be able to connect UP. The problem is in this the problem is we need to connect the app with both the extension and also in the mini DAPP context. So for that, we are going to need to do something special. And I'm going to do that in a moment. Okay, for connecting to both extension and mini app, first I need to get the documentation for connecting to the mini app. Connection. I'm not sure where is the exact documentation for this. This seems like the right way, but I think in the docs page I could find a better doc for it. Mini app. Learn mini apps. Connect to mini app. So what I'm going to do is just copy this. I'm going to add VM. VM is the best tool you could use for interacting with EVMs. So yeah, we're going to use that. And VM is installed. Now we are going to create a plan. Create a connection connecting with UP. We must be able to connect to both in standalone and also in app provider context properly. I think it would understand this pretty well. So after that we could connect our Premier leaks to the page. It's installing the app provider. Have to edit this, and it's going to be so many minutes that I'm doing nothing but watching my screen, I usually scroll when I'm putting like this. But now I'm putting video and I cannot even scroll. So it has done it. Let's see. Okay. It seems we are getting connected without issue on the standalone. And let's add a grid. Okay. So, first I need to connect to the, okay, it's connected. Everything works. Okay, so let's save this version. So now I need to create the entry point to the contracts. So what I need is connect starting launch campaign to the factory contract, and let's do it. I'm going to open a new Gemini. I'm going to create a folder API, and I'm going to actually copy files from here and paste them here. So I also need to provide the contract address for this, and this is not really the best practice. Ideally, we want to store these contract addresses in an environment variable, so if we change the addresses, we could easily reindex things and get the new data. But here in Frontend, I'm actually going to do that. So I want to ask it to use this Premier Factory API. The Premier Factory API with any variable. Let's put this here. And connect the launch campaign. So it creates a campaign using API. Let's put it on the plan. And let's see what it will do. I actually want to change it a bit. I want the upload name. So okay, it says that factory contract need a symbol for the NFT collection that we are using for the campaign, so it's going to add input for it here. So I guess it must work now. Let's see. So first campaign FCG, some random campaign for my test video. Okay. It says factory contract address is not configured. And oh, we need to add in the here we have to add this. I think it should work now. Okay, so this transaction is done, and ideally I would like to see it in the Explorer. And okay, this is the contract, and yeah, we interacted with this contract, created, and this is the campaign contract. And you see, this is a proxy contract, and yeah, the connection works. Now the thing is, we have created an indexer already, so we should be able to see this data in the indexer. And let's go there. Okay. So campaign ID. Target, symbol, owner, name, orientation, factory, creative, introduction, So this is giving me the right data. So for querying this, I could use a normal fetch query, but I prefer to use something called 10-stack query, which used to be a React query, which is a very sophisticated way to create proper queries in React that gives you lots of features. And the cool thing is, you don't need to learn it. It's like when the agent's going to use it perfectly for you. So now we just need to add another environment variable. Next populate index graph viewer. So for now it's localhost. I'm going create a React query using timestack to query the Premier, the campaigns. Okay. And then show the campaign and the right data. It's installing GraphQL request, and yeah. The problem here is I'm not seeing the data for the video URL. So that is going to be a problem. Also, the description is not getting saved, and I think that might be a problem. And this is not a contract problem because we are going to store this data as metadata. But for now, we are not having them. Okay. So now this data is coming from our indexer, which is what we want. Okay, now we need to use this query. Then let's save this version. So as you see, we have got to this far without writing a single line of code. It's like, but just give instruction in plain language. You need a bit of experience, especially in the smart contract part, and a bit of knowing what you should do. But when you do it, and you might need to do it a couple of times till you get the proper understanding of what's going on. But after that, it's like you don't need really to write any code. And as you can see here, we also have this. Okay, now we have this. And so now we want to define this section. We want to give ability to users to fund this. So we're going to make it So it created something cool for me. And okay, so I want to fund this using another UP that I have. And so I connect. And support it. Now I think I should see contributions data here. I'm not seeing it yet. Transaction failed. Oh, okay. It took a while for the indexer to index it. So now it's showing the right data. Okay, now that we refresh, it's showing the right data. Now we want to make it since we use transact data for transact query for getting this data of the page, I could add another feature here. So whenever the transaction is confirmed, I want to refetch this data. So I'm going to do that now. Whenever the support Foundry transaction is confirmed, okay, so now this is complete and I want to check it. So I'm going to support 2 more licks. And I know I write the campaign wrongly, and it's okay. It's none of your business, actually. It is, I agree, but whatever. Okay, so it's instantly updated. That's nice. Now I want another feature. So since we are in LUKSO, this is important. This is the only part that is different from every other chain. In every other chain, if we created something like this recent supporter would be, we had this nonsense wallet address for it. But since we are in LUKSO, these addresses are actually profiles. So there we could use this data to show what users support this campaign. And actually it makes a lot more sense. So, but for fetching this data, ideally we need a proper indexer that indexes this data properly. But for now, I'm going to use LUKSO indexer. I need to see the docs a bit, and I'm not sure how to do it. I have created sophisticated systems that get this data properly and cache them and render them properly, but for now, I want to ask Gemini whether it could do it or not. I'm not sure it could do it or not. If this works, it would be amazing. I'm not sure that this works. I'm sure we could work on it to find a way, but I'm not sure whether it works properly. Okay. It seems it's not working. Okay, it didn't manage to do it. I suspect that. So let's see whether I can find in LUKSO documentation an indexer for universal profiles. So I think I found the indexer. It's in nvo.mainnet.luxo.dev, and I'm not sure whether it works or not. I'm going to try it. Try to find a single query that give me the address of the user and see whether I could get the username and whatever ID. I think this is the first time that I'm actually writing something without AI here in this whole project. So these are the times that it would help you if you are a coder. So learning code help you, because otherwise you get overwhelmed here. Or in general, okay. Can you provide me with the profile data list of users with LUKSO in here? Ideally, if our indexer, we want to create a proper app, we could use the same squid indexer we used to and I'm writing this code. It's already a bit late, and my mind doesn't work as well as it used to be earlier. So it's going to be harder. It's not working. Maybe the problem is I created this universal profile recently. So if I use an older profile, it works. No. What if they do it this way? Nope. Okay, it seems it's finding things. ID. I'm not even sure that this is for the mainnet. Let me check it in the Explorer. Okay, it seems there are data here, but I guess I figure out what's going on. Let me copy this. So I will okay. So this Sims haven't registered my newly created UP, but it's not giving me the old UP data. And yeah, I think it worked, but I'm real tired now, and I think I would create the rest of this video tomorrow. One thing we learned, we could not create an end-to-end DAPP in an evening, but we could do it certainly in a day. Let's get back tomorrow.